Has COVID-19 changed ever since last week's spring break? With the kids back in school, has everything changed? Well, 6.64 million in the state of Texas with over 2,100 cases, new ones. 86,987 plus 4. Nueces County, 92,543 plus over 1,400 deaths, which is 1,480 tests. And the 7-day average is March 11th, 2.7 tests have been taken, 14,839 positive tests with almost 550,000. Since March 16th, 5 days ago, people hospitalized, over 20,000. People in ICU, almost over 4,000. Vaccinations, total world since today, 71.8% of the population had at least one dose, which is 20.8 million. Fully vaccinated people have been had at least 17.5 million, 60.6% in the U.S. 510 million doses have been given. 217 million people have been fully vaccinated, and 65.9% of the population has been fully vaccinated. In Texas, there's been total cases have been 6.6 million. The deaths, 86,087, reported yesterday, were 4. And the total doses are given over 44 million people. Reported yesterday, over 17,000. So now we're up to 9,000 to 44 million. We're getting close to 45 million. And the people fully vaccinated, 17.5 million people have been fully vaccinated, and 60.6%. But worldwide, that's the total doses, 11 million. New doses are 6.9 million. The people fully vaccinated is 4.4 million worldwide, which is 57.8%. Cases worldwide, total is 470.7 million, 79.6 million U.S., and the state of Texas, 6.6 million total cases. Now, our schools, how have they changed? Well, like I said before, Philadelphia ISD always updates their positive cases, so let's find out. Today, 0. What a surprise. 0 for today. Maybe because of the fact that they're watching my show and saying, we got to step up to the plate. We have to step up every now and then. But what's not going to change is that the FDA is asking for approval. Moderna is asking the FDA for approval of the 4th dose of the vaccine. Remember, 3 doses means you're good. But since that time, there's been U.S. COVID infections hit the lowest since July. Ever since July, it's been low. So maybe we could see a peak in the new normal. It's all because of Europe, who was seeing an increase in COVID-19 cases, and infection in the U.S. remained low. And health experts expect a big surge for the Omicron variants of variant BA.2. So what does that mean? Take a look.
Well, U.S. health officials said today they're expecting more COVID cases with the new BA.2 variant, but a large surge is unlikely. CBS's Lilia Luciano is in Pasadena with more. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Jerika. Well, China and Europe are seeing spikes in that new Omicron subvariant, but here in the U.S., COVID cases in general have dramatically dropped, which explains those rollbacks that we're seeing. The latest of which is here in L.A. County, where schools will no longer require masks starting later this week. States are turning the page on COVID from pandemic to endemic. The masks are off and many testing sites are shutting down. Most requirements are rolled back, except masking in airports and on public transportation, where it's mandatory for another month.
I'm glad to see we're opening up. Baby steps, of course, because we're still not sure what's happening.
New COVID infections in the U.S. are at their lowest level since last July, and nearly 99.5% of Americans are living in a low or medium risk area.
I think we're going to continue to see low levels of infection through the summer, but before we get there, we're probably going to see some tick up of infection like the Europeans are seeing right now.
Omicron subvariant BA2 is driving the surges in Europe, but health experts say vaccines are effective against the new strain. 82% of eligible Americans have received at least one dose. But in China, health officials say low vaccination rates among the elderly are behind the latest surge. The country just reported its first COVID deaths in more than a year. The U.S. Surgeon General says Americans should not panic about the outbreaks abroad, and many are confident as they return to newly opened workplaces.
For the most part, I feel safe.
Dr. Anthony Fauci said today he expects cases of that Omicron subvariant to rise here in the U.S., but that it should be more of an uptick rather than a full-blown surge. Jurika.
Lilia Luciano, thank you.
But wouldn't that raise concerns? Probably. We shouldn't be listening to Dr. Anthony Fauci about this. But in the meantime, like I said before, masks, social distance, riding transportation, same thing. Wash your hands. This and that. Yeah, like I said before, 2 years before. If you've been watching this show, you know I give out all the tips for every 6 minutes of this show. So try to understand here. We got to get back to normal here, so that we can go back doing the things we want to. And as for the TSA, they're pushing back. So we're looking at a few weeks ahead. Make sure you travel and you study the COVID cases. So that way, you can understand what's going on. And we can all go back to being normal here. Coming up, imagine as a principal, you had a policy which says nobody's allowed to go to the bathroom. But as a parent, your child comes home with a medical issue. Well, when we come back, we're going to look into this principal who years ago got fired and in a lawsuit claims that she wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom. You may be surprised at what goes on. Don't go away. Up front tonight, restricting bathroom rules. Now 6 years ago, you may have heard of this name, Glenda Gerde. She was the principal at Embattled Elementary School. Now there were a lot of instances happening, and we're going to show you those latest. We're going to show you what we're going to do is we're going to show you those latest before we get to the bathroom. So let's take a look at one of the instances before the bathroom.
From 2013 or so, former elementary school principal Glenda Gerde demonstrates what can happen when a person in a position of authority and responsibility allows themselves to feel frustrated, impatient, and offended. Check out this video.
Go for it. Go for it. Run it viral. I've asked you nicely, and you guys are being real jerks right now.
I've been very nice to you, ma'am.
I need you
Listen,
to
ma'am,
stop skateboarding
I've been very
on
nice
the
to you.
campus. You're being a jerk.
I've been very nice.
I am doing my job.
No, you're not. Your job
I
is
am
to be
doing
a
my
principal.
job.
Do we go here?
My
no.
job is to get you off the campus. This is the
No,
place
that's
of
the
business.
security's job. You're a
That
principal.
is my job.
You know what?
Get off the campus.
Quit Oh no! Don't make her fucking cross the line.
School police, we're gonna get the right.
School police. Let's school police.
What are some basic face value conflict de-escalation lessons we can learn out of this? Number one, Glenda gets overly frustrated and jacked up and offended that these guys are trespassing. Take a deep, deep, slow breath, Glenda. Slow yourself down. And folks, there is no school in business, corporations, or leadership school that teaches you to do anything other than to start with a smile and a friendly greeting when initiating contact with someone. So if Glenda had just slowed herself down and just said, hey guys, how you doing? Look, can't be skateboarding here, you're trespassing, or any other friendly approach other than what she did, these men had an opportunity to either A, continue to refuse and trespass and be and maybe become obnoxious, although the video does not show them really being obnoxious at all, and or they would have just, hey, sorry.
So after that, there's been another incident. After a lawsuit from the bathroom. So let's take a look at that lawsuit.
Mother says an elementary school's restroom policy landed her daughter in the emergency room.
Team 10 first broke this story last July, and new tonight, 10 News reporter Michael Chen has the suit filed today that claims the school broke the law.
Jamie Barkley says her daughter loved going to this elementary school, but this lawsuit claims that attending those classes ultimately led to lasting health problems. More than a year ago, Barkley says she discovered her then 9-year-old daughter hiding her urine-filled underwear all over the house.
Asked her what was going on, and she just broke down in tears.
A week later, stomach pains landed her daughter in the ER, where surgeons removed a large obstruction in her intestines. Her daughter told doctors she had been holding her pee in class because she didn't want to get in trouble.
Angry. Very angry.
Barkley says she found out the principal at Loma Portal Elementary had told students at an assembly about a tougher bathroom policy. Last June, her other children and another student told Team 10 they only got 2 bathroom passes a year.
I used them right up in the beginning of the year, and then I had no more.
The students said in some classes, extra passes could be earned. In other classes, bathroom trips could lead to detention. Barkley says when she confronted the principal, Glenda Jurdy, she talked about bathroom vandalism. And this.
She just said that children need to learn to hold it.
10 News has featured Jurdy's policies and behavior in a series of stories.
Get off the cabin!
Including this confrontation where she appeared to hit a skateboarder. Last summer, she was removed as principal. Barkley has filed suit against her and the school.
When a parent sends their child to school, the last thing they should have to worry about is whether the school's going to deprive their child of such a fundamental, basic human need.
I want to make sure this never happens to another student again.
Michael Chen, 10 News.
Barkley says that her daughter has developed a long-term intestinal condition that requires medication and physical therapy. San Diego Unified declined comment. And Jurdy says that the bathroom policy only played out in one classroom and that she stopped it as soon as she found out about it.
That's not saying much. If you're imposing a bathroom policy, it would be like this. Let me play you a clip from the principal's office. This could explain an exact same policy which I'm talking about. So we have Glenda Jurdy enforcing the bathroom policy. And then we have this from Manabin High School. So let's play you that clip.
Here, Toby, come on, sit down. Here, read. When I receive a write-up from a teacher, I give it to the student first, have them read it. I don't want to be biased one way or the other.
Toby took the bathroom pass and was out of the room for about 18 minutes. I can't read it random. I just had the best bathroom experience. You don't even want to know.
You said this was the greatest bathroom experience in your life?
Yeah. When I got out the bathroom, I felt like a new person.
Toby, give me a break. Every write-up I've gotten on you this year has been in this math class.
But like, she questions everything I do.
There's not one teacher in this building that would not question why someone went to the bathroom for 18 minutes. Oh, I think it's funny. I'm annoyed at this. Why are you being a wise guy with the math teacher?
I just said it, first of all.
You did it to get the teacher angry. Here's the deal. You're out of class 5 minutes or more, it counts as a cut. Where were you?
Mr. Tig, I wasn't feeling good.
18 minutes. Half a period.
It's a cafeteria food. It's horrible. Like, after I eat it, then I would feel bad, and then I won't have to go to the bathroom so long.
We feed 2,000 kids every day, and there's very few complaints. Toby's trying to pull a fast one. So have you been to the nurse about this?
Not really.
This sounds ridiculous, Toby. I don't believe your story. I'm not buying it. I want the truth now. Where were you?
In the hallway. With my friends.
You're not in your class, it counts as a cut. You're going to get 2 central office detentions. From now on, if she lets you go to the bathroom again, get in, get out, get back to class, all right?
Yeah.
Any teenager in America, if he or she can get out of class for more time, they'll do it. But in the future, I expect Toby to follow the rules and be back in class within the 5 minutes.
This is unacceptable. What if you had diarrhea? It's just unacceptable. I mean, excuse me, like 36 minutes class, 18 classmates have a period. I mean, it's something like that. You can't freaking just enforce a bathroom policy. If they have something like diarrhea or a medical issue, then you can't keep them out of class. You can't even have them hold it. Now comparing this case to the other principal, I had to say we don't need a bathroom policy. They need to go into the bathroom. They need to go to the bathroom. If it's an emergency, it's an emergency. You can't have them hold it. I'll tell you a story when we return that happened during junior freshman year. Now, if you're just joining us, we're focusing on bathroom policies in our schools. Now, I wanted to tell you about a story that happened years ago. This was when we were in the auditorium, and we had a guest speaker for English class. You were in English class, you had a guest speaker. You weren't allowed to go to the bathroom. And it's like, and I was asked to go to the bathroom, and she was like, no, you can't. You gotta sit there and listen. You gotta hold it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? If you have a medical problem, what if you had a medical problem? You keep holding in, you peed your pants, and we're not going to be held responsible. And yet, next thing you do, you call up your parents saying, I peed my pants because my teacher won't let me go to the bathroom. And all of a sudden, bam. I'm just trying to say, if you don't let me go to the bathroom, I'm going to call my mom and tell her that you're not letting me go to the bathroom. And when I pee my pants, I'm going to call my mom and let her know that you made me pee my pants because you don't let me go to the bathroom. Threaten her with that, and maybe she'll understand. If they gotta go, they gotta go. Understand that. You had to sit there, do the pee-pee dance, all you want. You couldn't even go to the bathroom. You had to sit there and listen to that lecture. That's what it was, but you weren't even allowed to go to the bathroom. That's what it was. You can't do that. You just don't do it. That is unacceptable behavior. If that happened to me, then I would personally talk to my assistant principal and say, hey, my teacher didn't let me go to the bathroom. I peed my pants. Who was the teacher? When was this? This was during English class when we were in the auditorium. I told her, if you don't make me go to the bathroom, I'm gonna call my mom and tell her you made my pee my pants. Call my mom, let her know that this and that and the other. me threaten all they want, but just won't do. They need time to go, they need time to go. That's the way it is. Don't argue with that. Your teacher won't let you go to the bathroom, then won't let you go to the bathroom. But in this case, with hall passes, they have to go, they got to go. You can't argue with that. Period. Now to Oxford, where an investigation is going on is delayed after a new superintendent was hired. But the question is, who do we really blame? I told you this before when we did the blame game, when we talked about all the blame cases from Idaho, Texas, and Oklahoma City. We blame the government. And in the case of the Oxford, we blame the school district. But why is there a delay? Let's take a look.
This is
is concerned tonight in Oxford about finding accountability after last November's fatal school shooting. A promised blue ribbon panel has yet to materialize, and some parents worry it never will. Local 4's Rob Maloney is live this evening with where things stand right now, and some parents are very upset, Rod.
Yeah, Karen, you know, we're hearing about this, and one of the things that parents want to know is, well, what happened, what led up to it, and who, in fact, will be held accountable. And now they're thinking, maybe this won't happen at all.
We need to learn what happened here.
Back in December, then Oxford School Superintendent Tim Throne said,
It is my recommendation to our school board that we look at a third-party independent review.
George Stefan is the parent of 2 Oxford High students, and he's been asking questions of the school board about this and safety issues from the start. Like, why not take up the Attorney General's offer to investigate?
Would allow us to do this basically for free, using the resources of the Attorney General's office, and yet they pursued a third-party investigation that is going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Now there's a new school superintendent, and the internal investigation the district promises keeps coming up at school board meetings, and yet all the district is willing to say about the so-called blue ribbon panel is, quote, the school board is working on this and determining a timeline, end quote.
I think they fear lawsuits based on some of the information that might come of this, and I think it's a way to manage the narrative. I think that's been their concern at the beginning.
He believes worries the probe could bankrupt the district appear a major concern that could prevent it at all.
That is concerning because the longer this drags out, the memories change.
Now, I will reiterate that we've heard from other parents about this question, and no doubt these questions will be coming up at the next school board meeting. Back to you.
There's a variety of meetings they hold. When's the actual school board meeting scheduled for?
The next one is 3 weeks from tomorrow, so that'll be April 12th.
All right, be interesting to see what they say. Thank you, Rod.
And we'll cover that for you on that day. But there's no excuse to be delaying this investigation. You're saying you're delaying a timeline, but who do we blame here? We blame the school for not doing its best. We have new security, but this new security is just outrageous. That's the bottom line here. We blame that shooter, we blame the parents, we blame the school. That's part of this blame game here, and frankly, I don't see how this can all come about here. But things have got to change here. He retired because of what's going on. He and now this new superintendent is in. But there's lots of questions, and we're going to deal with that questions at the next school board meeting, which is going to happen on April 12th. And the state of Michigan is spending a lot of money on this. But they should have taken out the Attorney General's offer and investigated this. But they decided, no, we're going to do a third party, not the Attorney General. I'll be back in just a moment. Finally this evening, more school threats. This time from Hillington, New York, where a student in Star Point Middle School is facing charges for allegedly posting a threat on social media indicating possible violence at the school. A student who is not being named due to their age is charged with 1 count of making a terroristic threat, which is a felony. Investigators say the sheriff's office received a report on March 20, which was yesterday, that was sent via Snapchat. The student was released into custody of his parents and will appear in Nutley County probation at a later date. Police say school officials cooperated with the sheriff's office to ensure the safety of students and staff. The county sheriff said in a release, "We will continue to investigate all school threats and take appropriate action." It's good. It's in the custody of the kids, and they will continue to investigate, and we will do so too. Alright, I did promise you this explosive rant that happened when teachers kicked an autistic child and the adults were not present. We're going to have that for you tomorrow night at the baseball game. I promised you this today, but it's not going to happen. It didn't happen. I promised you this on Friday. It didn't happen. I promised you on Saturday. It didn't happen. I promised you today. It didn't happen. But tomorrow, the big deal here. Look out for this explosive rant and why they violated that state law in Ohio. Look for that tomorrow night. That's all for this is Give Me a Break Monday. We'll see you again tomorrow for Give Me a Break for Tuesday. For all of us here at YouTube and Give Me a Break, good night.